The character of Ian Fleming, relaxing with a vodka martini and a handmade cigarette at GoldenEye, his house in Jamaica, is the narrator.
March came in like a rattlesnake. Hail, icy sleet, force 8 gale. Harold Macmillan, the new Prime Minister, shivered as he looked out at the greyness of Horse Guards Row. With Britain still smarting after the debacle of Suez, the political situation was as cheerless as the weather. A mile or so away, an old black Silver Wraith Rolls-Royce stopped outside a tall building in Regent's Park. A middle-aged man with shrewd grey eyes climbed stiffly out onto the pavement. Hail hit him in the face like a whiff of small shot.
You won't be needing the car again today, Harris. I'll use the tube this evening. No weather for driving a car.
Aye, aye, sir. Thank you, sir.
He went up in the lift to the 8th floor and along the thick carpeted corridor to his office.
Good morning, Miss Moneypenny.
Good morning, sir.
Bring me the signals, please, and anything else you've got.
Straight away, sir.
He went into his office and closed the door. He took out a large blue silk bandana handkerchief and brusquely wiped it over his face, something he'd never have done in front of the porters or the liftman.
Let me have the Strangways file, please, Miss Moneypenny.
Yes, sir.
And tell the Chief of Staff I'll see 007 in half an hour.
Very good, sir.
He opened the signals file and went through it. Occasionally he made a brief telephone call. When he had finished, he tossed the pile into his outbasket and reached for his pipe and the tobacco jar made out of the base of a 14-pounder shell. Nothing remained in front of him except a buff folder marked with the top-secret red star. Across the center of the folder was written in block capitals, Caribbean Station, and underneath, in italics, Strangways and Trueblood.
Yes?
Commander Bond's here, sir.
Send him in. And ask the armourer to come up.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, James. How do you feel? Glad to be back?
Very glad, sir. And I feel fine.
Not much fun being shunted from hospital to hospital.
Convalescence was worse. Damn hard work getting the body back into shape.
Yes, I'm sure. Any thoughts about your last case?
It was a mess, sir. I blame myself. Should never have happened.
Your gun got stuck.
Yes, sir.
Can't afford that sort of mistake if you're to carry a 00 number. Or perhaps you prefer to drop it and go back to normal duties.
No, sir, I would not. Most certainly not.
In that case, you must talk to the armourer. Take his advice about what sort of weapon you should carry. If you're licensed to kill, we must make sure you do it efficiently.
I'm used to that gun, sir. What happened could have happened to anyone, with any kind of gun.
I don't agree. Nor did the Court of Inquiry. Miss Moneypenny, is the armourer with you?
Yes, sir.
Send him in.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, armourer. I want to ask you some questions. First of all, the Beretta, the .25. What do you think of it?
Ladies' gun, sir.
Why do you say that?
No stopping power. Easy to operate, I grant you that. But fancy looking. Appeals to the ladies.
How would it be with a silencer?
Still less stopping power, sir. I don't like silencers. They're heavy and get stuck in your clothing when you're in a hurry.
Any comment, 007?
I don't agree. I've used the .25 Beretta for 15 years. Never had a stoppage. Never missed with it. Not yet, anyway. I agree about the silencer. They're a nuisance. But sometimes you have to use them.
Stand up, 007. I want the armourer to get a look at your build.
May I see your gun, 007?
Here.
And your holster? Thank you. I think we could do better than this, sir.
What do you recommend?
The Volta PPK 7.65mm.
Any comments, 007?
It's a good gun, sir. Bit more bulky than the Beretta. How does the armourer suggest I carry it?
Burns Martin triple draw holster. Best worn inside the trouser band to the left, but it's all right below the shoulder. Stiff saddle leather. Holds the gun in with a spring. Should make for a quicker draw than the Beretta. 3/5 of a second to hit a man at 20 feet would be about right.
Thank you, armourer. I won't detain you.
Thank you, sir.
Now then, 007. A job's come up. In Jamaica. Personnel problems, a routine investigation and report. The sunshine will do you good, and you can practice your new gun on the turtles or whatever they have down there. You like to take it on?
Sounds like the soft life, sir. I've had rather too much of that lately. But if you say so.
Yes, Commander Bond. I say so.
The 68 tons dead weight of the Super Constellation hurtled high above the green and brown checkerboard of Cuba, starting its slow descent to Jamaica. Bond leaned back in his seat, recalling once again his meeting with M. He was uneasy about this assignment. Routine investigation, M called it. He won't trust me with anything tough, thought Bond. and the suggestion that he might surrender his 00 prefix was extremely unwelcome. The license to kill for the Secret Service was a great honor, and it brought Bond the only assignments he enjoyed, the dangerous ones. After their brief and rather unsatisfactory conversation, M had buzzed down for the Chief of Staff, a colonel in the sappers and Bond's best friend at headquarters.
Bring up a chair, Chief of Staff. I've given the Strangways case to 007. Got to get this mess sorted out before we make a new appointment there. 007 can be acting head of station. Would you fix that with the Colonial Office and the Governor?
Yes, sir.
Pass me that file, would you? Thanks. Now then. Commander John Strangways, RN, retired, Regional Control Officer for the Caribbean. I believe you know him, 007.
Very slightly. We worked together 5 years ago.
What did you make of him?
Good man. Bit highly strung. I'd have thought he'd been relieved by now. 5 years is a long time in the tropics.
And his number 2, this girl, Mary Trueblood. Ever come across her?
No, sir.
What excellent record. Chief officer in the Wrens, and then came to us. Good looker to judge from her photographs. Would you say that Strangways was a bit of a womanizer?
Could have been. What's happened to them?
Gone. Vanished into thin air. Both went the same evening. Left everything behind, even their passports.
Wouldn't have been difficult for Strangways to cook up a couple of passports, would it, Chief of Staff?
No problem there. They could easily have done a bunk. Nobody questions that. The puzzling thing is their last radio call. 18:30 Jamaica time. Somebody, radio security thinks it was the girl, acknowledged our routine call sign, then went off the air. No answer to the blue call or the red. Next day, Section 3 sent a man down from Washington. By that time, the police had taken over, and the governor was already trying to get the whole thing hushed up.
Strangways has had the occasional girl trouble down there. Not surprising, really. It's a quiet station. Not much to occupy his time.
Yes, but that radio contact sticks in my throat. Why answer the call sign and then do a bunk? Doesn't make sense.
People in, love do silly things. What do you think, 007?
Seems uncharacteristic. What cases had he been dealing with recently? Anything special?
No, it's all very routine. The occasional communist trying to get onto the island from Cuba. Crooks from London thinking they can hide away in Jamaica.
Was that business with the birds?
What was that?
Or some rot from the zoo or somebody. Got wished on us by the Colonial Office.
No, it wasn't the zoo. It was a group of people in America called the Audubon Society. They protect rare birds.
The something spoonbill, isn't that right?
The roseate spoonbill.
Ugly-looking thing. Like a pink stalk with an ugly flat bill.
Ornithologists thought it was dying out. Then somebody reported a colony of them on an island called Crab Key, British territory, between Jamaica and Cuba. Used to be a guano island.
Guano? Bird droppings?
Bird droppings are very good as fertilizer, also I'm told. When these birds were found there, it had been uninhabited for over 50 years. The Audubon people ended up leasing a corner as a sanctuary for the spoonbills. Put 2 wardens in charge and persuaded the airlines to stop flying over the island and disturbing the birds.
They're pretty influential, these people.
The birds flourished, and at the last count there were about 5,000 of them. Then came the war. The price of guano went up, and some bright chap had the idea of buying the island and started to work it again. He negotiated with the Jamaican government and bought Crab Key for £10,000 on condition he didn't disturb the lease of the sanctuary. That was in 1943. This man imported plenty of cheap labour and soon had the place working at a profit. Then the price of guano took a dip. Bad news for the bird shit business.
Who is this man?
Chinaman.
No, half Chinese, half German. Dr. No. Dr. Julius No.
No. As in yes.
Correct.
Anything known?
Keeps himself to himself. Nobody ever sees him. The island's his and he keeps it private. Then just before Christmas, one of the Audubon wardens...
Barbadian fellow.
Good, solid chap, apparently. Arrived on the north shore of Jamaica in a canoe. Very sick. Terrible burns. Died a few days later. Had some crazy story about their camp being attacked by a dragon with flames coming out of his mouth.
Obviously off his rocker.
The Audubon Society weren't satisfied with this story and sent 2 of their top brass from Miami to investigate. There's an airstrip on Crab Key. The plane crashed on landing. The 2 Audubon men were killed.
Thus causing an absolute bloody rumpus. Well, it's always the same when people start preserving things. Churches, old houses, these blasted birds. Everybody gets worked up. Politicians get involved, and then there comes a point when somebody has to do something to keep them all quiet. Of course, nobody at the Colonial Office is in the least interested, which is why the whole damn fairy story has been dumped in our lap.
In Strangway's lab.
Exactly.
Let me have a look at the file.
Yes. Take it. And for God's sake, get it sorted out pronto. Now, you may not have noticed, 007, but the rest of the world happens to be in a bit of a mess.
This is Kingston, Jamaica. Will all passengers please proceed to the passport and immigration desk?
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Good evening.
Import and export merchant. What company, sir?
Universal Export.
Are you here on business or pleasure?
Pleasure.
I hope you enjoy your stay, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Captain, over here.
Quarrel.
How you doing, Captain?
Good to see you.
And you, sir.
You look exactly the same as you did 5 years ago. Same old blue shirt, same old khaki twilled trousers. How's the turtle fishing?
Oh, not so bad, Captain. And not so good. Much the same as always. Hey, you been sick or something?
As a matter of fact, I have. Why do you ask?
There's some pain lines in your face.
Yes. Need a few days of your training regime.
Just give the word, Captain.
As soon as I heard head office was sending me to Jamaica, I sent a signal to the governor's office. Get my friend Quarrel over from the Cayman Islands, I said. Can't function without him.
Real glad you did, Captain.
Hey, what's that?
Welcome to Jamaica, Mr. Bond.
Why'd you take my picture?
I'm from the Daily Gleaner.
That doesn't answer my question.
I take pictures of all the interesting people who come to Kingston.
I'm not interesting.
You look very interesting.
Appearances can be deceptive.
Which hotel will you be staying at, Mr. Bond?
I think that's my business.
Have a good evening, sir.
Ever seen that girl at the airport before?
I reckon not. But the Gleaner had plenty camera gals. She a pretty one.
Maybe. But like I said, appearances can be deceptive.
This way, Captain. Here's the car.
Black Sunbeam Alpine. This was Strangway's car.
Who's Strangways?
Regional control officer. He's disappeared. That's why I'm here, to find out where he's gone.
The ADC tell me to meet you at the airport with the car. He say this is the only spare car they have. Him no good?
It's okay. Let's get going.
They booked you into the Blue Hills. Corner room with balcony.
Good. What about dinner tonight? Where should we go?
Depends on what you fancy, Captain.
You choose. Somewhere where we can relax.
There's a place down the waterfront. The Joy Board. Hit no great shakes, Captain, but the food and the drinks and the music is good. And I got a good friend there. His name Puss Fella. Him owns the joint.
Sounds good to me. Pick me up at 7:30.
Sure thing.
Quarrel, look in the mirror. See that car behind us, driving with the side lights only?
I see him, Captain.
Okay, here's what we do. At the end of the Palisadoes, where the left fork goes to Kingston and the right to Morant, turn quickly down the Morant Road, stop at once and turn your lights off, right?
Right.
And go like hell. There he is, you see? Big American taxi cab. He's turned his lights on. He's looking for us.
And take the Kingston Road.
Okay, Quarrel, let's go. Keep a watch out. No one drives an empty taxi back from the airport. It's an expensive run.
You think he follow us, Captain?
I'm damn sure of it. I've been a fool, Quarrel.
Why is that, Captain?
That girl photographer, how did she know who I was? Somebody must have told her. Now this taxi, I'm being watched, I'm being followed. I've been bloody careless. Might just as well have taken out a full-page advert in the Gleaner saying when I was coming. And why.
This is it, Captain. This the Joy Boat.
What's your friend called? Puss fella.
That's right, Captain. They calls him that cause him once fought with a big octopus. There's mostly small fellas round here, but they come big at Crab Key, seeing how it's the deepest waters round these parts. Puss fella has himself a bad time with this animal. But so long getting himself free.
Aye, Mr. Q.
Hey, Puss fella.
Long time no see. Nice table for two.
The sure thing. Closer to the kitchen than the music.
Something to drink?
What do you want, Captain?
Bourbon and branch water. Do you have old Grandad?
Sure. What do you have, Quarry?
I'll have what the Captain has.
Soon come.
Cigarette?
Thanks, Captain.
It's good to be back.
Good to have you back.
Tell me, Quarrel, this place you were talking about, Crab Key, what sort of place is it?
Oh, that a bad luck place now. Chinese gentlemen buy it during the war and bring in men and dig bird dirt. He don't let nobody land there. And he don't let no one get off. We give it a wide berth.
Why's that?
Him have plenty watchmen. And guns, machine gun, and radar. Friends of mine have landed there, and him never been seen again. And tell the